Hello and welcome to Unacademy, a one-stop destination for all English medium UPSC aspirants. Welcome to the second session of Conquer Prelims Phase 2. In this class, I will cover the most important static topics from science and technology. At the end of each of these topics, I will also provide a few practice questions so that you will understand what kind of questions you can expect in the examination. You can find the PDF of the session and the explanation for today's practice questions in this Telegram channel. Before we start the session, a very important announcement. For the first time ever, we are offering flat 55% discount on Unacademy subscriptions. This offer is valid only till 22nd February. So do enroll before it is late. With this subscription, you will get access to all our GS, CSAT courses, test series and many doubt clearing sessions. Let us start the session now. In today's class, we are going to discuss a few topics. Let us just have a list of the topics that I am going to cover in today's class. One is carbon allotropes. After that, we are discussing about radioactivity and its applications in various fields. Semiconductors, one topic from the information and communication technology, and a few more topics. Let us now start the session with the first topic, that is carbon allotropes. First of all, what are the allotropes? Allotropes means different spatial arrangements of an atom. Different spatial arrangements of the same atom. Like for example, if you observe these two images, they both are made up of carbon atoms. They both are made up of carbon atoms. But here the carbon atoms are arranged in the form of a ball. Arranged in the form of a ball. But here carbon atoms only. The atom did not change. Carbon atoms only, but they are arranged in the form of a flat sheet. The carbon nanotubes, they are also made up of carbon atoms, but they are arranged in the form of a tube. This is called as buckyball. Buckyball is the common name of it, and technically this is called as Buckminster fullerene. Buckminster fullerene. This is made up of 60 carbon atoms. How many carbon atoms we can find in this structure? 60 carbon atoms. They are arranged in the form of hexagons. They are arranged in the form of hexagons. Okay. And overall the structure looks like a soccer ball, like a football. Therefore it is called buckyball. Here this is called graphene. This structure is called graphene. Here also it is made up of carbon atoms. But the carbon atoms are arranged in the form of a flat sheet. The thickness of this sheet is only 1 atom thick. Only 1 atom thick. This is not a thick sheet of the carbon atoms. It is a very thin sheet of the carbon atoms, whereas the thickness is just 1 atom thickness. It means it is a very thin flat sheet of carbon atoms, that is called graphene. Here, okay, if you observe, if you assume this as graphene, a thin sheet of carbon atoms, then if this graphene is rolled up like a tube, if it is rolled up like a tube, this can be called as carbon nanotube. Okay. In all the three cases, the composition is the same. That is, all the three are made up of carbon atoms. Where is the difference coming? The difference coming only in the spatial arrangement of carbon atoms. The difference is only in the spatial arrangement of carbon atoms. So, these three are carbon allotropes. These three are carbon allotropes, right? So, what are the allotropes? The different structures that will have the same elemental composition but differ only in the spatial arrangement of that element or spatial arrangement of that atom. So, these are the three carbon allotropes. Okay. There are four major allotropes of carbon. They are graphene. As we have seen, this is a graphene. What is graphene? One atom thick sheet of the carbon atoms. Okay, graphene. Second one is fullerene. Then, what are the fullerenes? Fullerene definition is given here. These are the molecules of carbon, okay, in the shape of spheres. Means if the carbon atoms are arranged like spheres, like balls or spheres, or they are arranged as ellipses like this. If the carbon atoms are just like this buckyball, but instead of being circular, if this buckyball is a little bit elliptical, okay, that is also one possibility. Or tubes, I mean this is a tube, okay. So, circles, ellipses, tubes, we call them as fullerenes. Fullerenes. So, buckyballs and carbon nanotubes are fullerenes. And flat sheet, we call it as graphene. So, what is the difference between graphene and fullerene? Graphene is a flat sheet of carbon atoms arranged in the form of hexagons, whereas fullerenes are the molecules of carbon in the shape of spheres or ellipses or tubes. All the three can be called as fullerenes. Means according to this, the carbon nanotube is also a type of fullerene, and buckyball or Buckminster fullerene is the other type of fullerene, right. The family is named after Buckminster fullerene. Fullerenes got the name based on the first compound in the category called as Buckminster fullerene. What is Buckminster fullerene? This one, buckyball, having 6 carbon atoms arranged in the form of a sphere made up of hexagons of the carbon atoms. This buckyball is called Buckminster fullerene. This is the first compound in the fullerenes category. Okay, I hope you remember the carbon nanotubes also comes under the fullerenes category only. But the first compound in the fullerenes category is Buckminster fullerene, buckyball. Why the Buckminster fullerene got that name? Why is this called Buckminster fullerene? It is named after the scientist who discovered this, that is Buckminster Fuller is the name of the scientist. Okay, Buckminster Fuller identified this, so therefore it is called Buckminster fullerene. This is the first compound in the fullerenes category, therefore the category is called as fullerenes. In the fullerenes category, these balls, ellipses, tubes, all of them will come. I mean every shape other than the flat sheet can be called as fullerenes. Okay. Buckminster fullerene consists of the carbon atoms connected by both single and double bonds. Remember this point. In the Buckminster fullerene or buckyballs, you can have the carbon atoms which are connected either by single bond or by double bond. They are also called as buckyballs. Sometimes we also have nested buckyballs like this. One buckyball, another buckyball inside, another buckyball inside. They can be called as bucky onions. Bucky onions. But if you remember, I said that any shape other than the flat sheet can be called as fullerenes. So this bucky onions, okay, this bucky onions, that is nested buckyballs, nested buckyballs, also come under the fullerenes, okay. and the parent compound of the fullerenes is Buckminster fullerene, right? Okay, the nested fullerenes are called as Bucky onions. These are the different carbon allotropes. The cylindrical fullerenes are called as carbon nanotubes. They are also called as Bucky tubes. Carbon nanotubes can also be called as Bucky tubes. Okay, and carbon nanotubes are cylindrical molecules that consist of rolled up sheet of single layer of graphene. This single layer of graphene, its rolled up sheet, okay, is called as Bucky tube or carbon nanotube. Okay, these are 100 times stronger when compared to the steel at a weight of 1/6 of the steel. 1/6 weight of the steel carbon nanotubes if you take, or graphene sheet if you take, it will be 100 times stronger than the steel. Okay, they are also having good thermal and electrical conductivity. They are very good conductors of heat and also the conductors of electricity. Okay, and as we already understood, fullerene is an allotrope of carbon consisting of carbon atoms connected by both single and double bonds. Okay, so like this we have seen about the carbon allotropes. Now let us see a few applications of the carbon nanotubes. Okay, carbon nanotubes applications. Okay, we can use them in the electrical wiring. We can use them in the electrical wiring. Why we can use in the electrical wiring? What is the common element used in the electrical wiring? Copper. Advantage with copper is its good conductivity, but disadvantage is it is a very soft metal. So there is a chance that the electrical wires can be broken and we need a lot of maintenance. So if you take carbon nanotubes, their conductivity is more than the copper and their strength is greater than the steel. So we can use carbon nanotubes in the electrical wiring. Okay, we can use carbon nanotubes. One important application is Baba Kavach. Baba Kavach. So what is this Baba Kavach? This is a bulletproof jacket for our army. Why can we make a bulletproof jacket for our army using the carbon nanotubes? Because it is 100 times stronger than the steel. It can protect the army even from the AK-47 bullets. Okay, and then we can also use them in the smart shirts. I mean, if I wear a shirt which is made up of carbon nanotubes, the ECG mission, you know, ECG electrocardiogram, that is that can test our heart functioning. If I wear this smart shirt which is woven with the using this carbon nanotubes, we can also study, okay, that is real-time monitoring of the heart activity. I repeat, okay, the shirt is woven with the carbon nanotubes. I mean, as one of the threads, we are using carbon nanotubes. I am wearing that shirt. With that, you can do real-time monitoring of my heart activity, real-time monitoring of ECG. Smart shirts, okay. We can also use them in the cancer treatment. We can also use them in the cancer treatment. How can we use them in the cancer treatment? Let us suppose this is a cancer cell. Listen carefully, complete focus. It's a cancer cell. Now, the cancer cells will have, okay, kind of larger pores, and then you can assume that this is a healthy cell. Healthy cell, and this is a cancer cell. Which cell is having bigger pores, means holes? Cancer cell is having bigger pores. Okay, so now what we are doing is, imagine this is our carbon nanotube, and in the carbon nanotube we are packaging the, imagine this is the cancer drug. Okay, I mean a toxic substance that can kill the cell. The cancer drug is nothing but a toxic substance that can kill the cell. Okay, now the medicine we are using for cancer is not the new, the same old medicine we are using, but we are using the carbon nanotube like a carrier. It will carry the drug. Now, looking at the diagram, you can easily understand that more amount of carbon nanotubes, okay, that is more amount of this cancer drug reaches the cancer cells. Okay, more amount of cancer drug reaches the cancer cells. Why? Because of the larger pores. Due to larger pores, the cancer cells can take up more carbon nanotubes. And where is the cancer drug? It is inside the carbon nanotubes. So the cancer cells will take up more amount of the cancer drug, whereas the healthy cell do not take up the, or will take up very little amount of this cancer drug. So what happens? Selectively the cancer cells are killed without destroying the healthy cells. Like this, we can use carbon nanotubes in the cancer treatment also. These are various applications of the carbon nanotubes. So this is what I wanted to discuss about the carbon allotropes. So here I have given two practice questions from the carbon allotropes. Okay. They can be used as smart clothing, used in cancer therapy, manufacturing bulletproof jackets. We can use them in GM crops and transgenic animals. Like for example, that is another application. We can use them in GM crops. Okay. Then you may get a doubt, what is GM crop? Okay, what are the GM crops? Genetically modified crops. Now let us suppose this is a plant cell. This is a plant cell. Now what we are doing, this is carbon nanotube. In this we are keeping the gene that you want to transfer. Okay, the gene that, okay, we want to transfer to the plant cell. Okay, I want to modify the plant cell by giving it a new gene. I want to modify the plant cell by giving it a new gene. Okay, very good. But how are we sending that new gene into the plant cell? Using carbon nanotube as a carrier. So these are the various applications of the carbon nanotubes. A very simple straightforward question is here related to the carbon nanotubes. And one more question is about the carbon allotropes, that is fullerenes. What are the different types of fullerenes? Okay, based on that there is one more question. I want you to solve these questions and provide your answers in the comment section after the session. After 1 day gap, I will provide the correct answers in the Telegram channel. So this is what is the procedure I planned. Okay. Now moving on to the next topic, that is evolution of the internet. Okay, from web 1 to web 5. Web 1 to web 5. The evolution of internet. Okay. First of all, what is web 1? Web 1 is the internet that we people have used, that is around 2 decades back when the internet came recently. Okay, so the internet that was available was web 1. This is read only. Read only means not actually read only, it can be read only, watch only, listen only. Okay, for example, if there is some written content, you can only read it, but you cannot do any editing on that, or you cannot do any comment on that. Okay, or watch only. For example, if there is a video, okay, I can only watch the video, but I cannot do the actions like share, subscribe or all those things. Okay, we cannot do. I mean, the user is a passive user. In the web 1, the user is a passive user. We are not interacting with the internet. Okay, we are doing only read only. I mean, read only or watch only or listen only. Okay, but you cannot do anything from your side. You cannot modify that. You cannot comment on that. Okay, such actions you cannot do. Okay, so this is because of that reason it is also called as static internet. Okay, and this is onymous. Okay, what do you mean by this word onymous? Okay, you know these words, nominee, nomination means related to name. Is it clear? Then anonymous, anonymous is a very familiar word. It means no identity. Okay, I don't have my name or my identity. So onymous is an opposite word to anonymous. It means here we will have the identity. I mean, in the web 1, okay, the user will have the identity. Okay, in the web 1, the user will have identity. Right. Read or watch or listen only. I mean passive. Therefore, it is also called static. Onymous means user will have identity. Okay, this is about web 1. Now coming to web 2. What is the web 2? This is the current. I mean the internet that we are using currently is web 2. Okay, social media. Examples: YouTube, okay, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. These are all under the web 2. Okay, YouTube. Why YouTube is web 2? Why does it come under web 2? Okay, because it is read and write. Read and write means, of course, it is not related to only reading. Okay, read, okay, watch, listen. If it is a content, you can read it. But you can also upload your content on the YouTube. You can read the content in the YouTube and you can upload the content. You can watch this video on YouTube and you can also upload your own video. It means you are not a passive user. Okay, so it means here the user is an active user. You can watch a video, also you can upload a video. You are consumer and also you are producer here. Or you can interact with the content. Like for example, you can pour all your affection in the form of comments below this video. It means you are a active user. You are not a passive user of this service. Right. So read and write. We can read, watch and upload the video. Watch the video and comment on that. Interact with that particular video. Okay. So this is active user. Okay. And next one, this is centralized. What do you mean by centralized? Okay. Who will own your data? For example, to the Facebook, you have given a lot of data, that is your photographs or your name, your contact details or your whether you are a single or married, like this, all the data that you have given, your phone number. So you have all your data with the Facebook organization. That company is owning your data. You are not owning your data anymore. You have given your data to that company. So that centralized organization, okay, the Facebook or the Twitter organization will control your data, control or own your data. Okay, and here also we are onymous. Onymous means what? We have identity. We have identity. How do you have identity? For example, I am uploading this video and there is an identity for me. I mean we are uploading from the Unacademy side. So it means the one who is uploading will have an identity. Is it clear? Okay. So that is onymous. User is not anonymous here. This kind of internet, I mean the one that you are using, the social media, the current internet is web 2. Next, what is Web 3? In Web 3, we can do everything that we can do in Web 2. In the Web 2, can I watch the video? Yes. In the Web 2, can I upload the video, or can I like, share, comment, that is interact with that video? Yes. So in the Web 3, we can do everything that we can do in the Web 2. Plus, in addition to that, we can also own our data. Okay, we can also own our data. It means what? In the Web 3, what happens is, in the Web 3, all users together own the data. I mean, there is no centralized organization like Facebook or YouTube, etc. owning the data. I hope it is clear. Okay. Who will, in the Web 2, who owns the data? One company, one organization is owning the data. In the Web 3, who will own the data? The users. For example, if there are 1 million Facebook users, all the 1 million users will together own this data. An organization is not owning this data. Okay. No centralized organization. All users together owns the data. Therefore, this is decentralized. Therefore, this is decentralized. There is no centralized organization controlling your data. We all control our data together. I mean, this is related to blockchain technology. This is similar to blockchain technology. Then you may get it out what is blockchain technology. If you already know this, fine. Otherwise, in one of our future courses, maybe in the phase 3 or phase 4 of Conquer Prelims, I will discuss that topic also. Okay, so this is based on blockchain technology. Okay, means decentralized. All users together owns the data. A centralized organization is not owning the data. This is the only one additional point in Web 3 when compared to Web 2. Okay, decentralized. Next, anonymous. The problem in the Web 3 is, if we upload this video, you will not know who uploaded this video. Okay, why do we use the social media platform? Only for identity. Is it clear? For example, we are uploading the videos, that is for the identity. Okay, so being anonymous is the biggest disadvantage of the Web 3. In future, if you upload a video, what will be the only purpose for which you will upload a video? You are doing it for your identity. Okay, if you cannot get identity, if there is no identity, it is meaningless. So that is the biggest disadvantage in Web 3. I repeat, okay, in the Web 3, you can watch a video, I mean read. You can upload a video, I mean write. Okay, or you can interact with the video like, share, comment. Plus, you can also own your data. You will also own your video. Once I have uploaded, now the YouTube organization owns my video. But in the Web 3, it is not like that. We all together, all users of the YouTube together will own this data. That is on the blockchain platform. What is blockchain technology? I'm sure I will discuss in one of our future such sessions. Okay, but these are all good. Read, write and own, decentralized, perfect. Okay, but anonymous is the disadvantage here. Okay, what is the advantage due to centralization? Why am I considering the centralization as an advantage? Yes, why am I considering decentralization as an advantage? Because, okay, if there is a centralized organization, for example, the Facebook organization or the YouTube organization can misuse your data if it is centralized. In the centralized, that central organization can misuse your data, sell your data for their own commercial benefits. But in the decentralized, when the user owns the data, so the organization cannot misuse your data. The organization cannot sell your data, okay, or misuse your data, okay, without your permission. So that is the reason why the decentralization is an advantage of Web3, but the anonymous nature is a disadvantage of the Web3. Now, you might be wondering where is Web 4, okay. Web 4 is same like Web 3, but when compared to Web 3, it is just little advanced version of Web 3. So no different features. Web 4 is also read. You can watch the video, you can upload the video, or you can interact with the video. You will also own your data, okay, and you are anonymous. You will not have identity. Same advantages, same disadvantages, just like Web 3, but a little advanced version of it. Okay, now coming to Web 5. Web 5 is the best one. Why Web 5 is the best one? It is having the advantage of Web 2 and the advantage of Web 3 in that. What is the main advantage of the Web 2? The main advantage of Web 2 is, okay, identity. The main advantage of Web 3 is users will own the data. The centralized organization cannot misuse your data. I repeat, the main advantage of Web 2 is user can have identity. The main advantage of Web 3 is users will own their data. The centralized organization cannot misuse your data. But Web 5 is a combination of both. Decentralized, this is decentralized like Web 3, and it is anonymous like Web 2. It's a combination of the two, taking the advantages of both. That is Web 5. So this is the evolution of internet from the Web 1 to Web 5. For a practice, you can solve this question and answer the question in the comment section, and I will provide the right answer after one day. This is to give you some time to solve these questions on your own. Okay, now moving on to the third topic in today's session, that is radioactivity and its applications. So first of all, what is radioactivity? Okay, we have so many elements in the nature, and all the elements are arranged in the form of a periodic table. You may remember the periodic table from your school days. In the 9th class, 10th class onwards, we have the periodic table, but don't worry, I'm not going to tell you about the periodic table. But in the periodic table, okay, we have some light elements. For example, you have hydrogen. Okay, hydrogen is a very light element. Why? Its atomic number is just 1. Okay, its atomic number is just 1. Okay, so it means what? Okay, it will have just 1 proton. Hydrogen will have, okay, first of all, one small background information here. What is atomic number? Okay, atomic number is the number of protons. Okay, atomic number or the number of protons or the position in the periodic table. The position in the periodic table, okay, will coincide. I mean, for hydrogen, all the 3 are 1. The atomic number of hydrogen is 1. The number of protons in hydrogen is 1. Its position in the periodic table is first position. So all the 3 mean the same. Okay. So an atom which is having just 1 proton, it will be lightweight. Okay. Whereas towards the later part, okay, for example, if you take uranium, the number of protons is 92. Then you may get one doubt. What is this 235? 92 is number of protons. Okay. What is 235? That is number of protons plus number of neutrons. Means number of nucleons. Nucleons means what? Okay. The particles present in the nucleus. The particles present in the nucleus. You know that in the nucleus we have protons and neutrons, and electrons are orbiting the nucleus. We discussed this yesterday also. Okay, so for uranium, okay, 92 is its number of protons, whereas 235 is the number of protons plus neutrons. That is the number of subatomic particles in the nucleus. Okay, this is a heavy atom and its nucleus will be a heavy atomic nucleus. Okay. Now, the heavier an atomic nucleus, listen carefully, the heavier an atomic nucleus, the more unstable it is. Is it clear? Okay. I mean, heavier atomic nuclei or heavier atoms are unstable. Unstable means they will try to become, okay, lighter. I mean, they constantly try to become lighter. I repeat, the atoms having more protons or later in the atomic number, later part of the periodic table, they are heavier. A heavy atom or the nucleus inside such atom, that is heavy atomic nucleus, is unstable. So it will always try to become lighter. How can it become lighter? By, okay, emitting certain particles. Emitting certain particles. Okay, like for example, if you observe here, this is called as an alpha particle. What is an alpha particle? Okay, which is having 2 protons plus 2 neutrons. A particle composed of 2 protons and 2 neutrons is called as an alpha particle. From the uranium-235, okay, will release one alpha particle. Imagine this is uranium-235. Okay, this uranium-235 is getting rid of one alpha particle. Again getting rid of another alpha particle, again getting rid of another alpha particle, getting rid of one more alpha particle. So it will keep on emitting these alpha particles till it becomes lighter and more stable. And this process is called as radioactive decay. We call this process as radioactive decay. Decay means what? Disintegration, isn't it? Disintegration, because this is getting disintegrated. Okay, don't worry, I am not wasting the paper. It is a rough paper which is already having the written content in this. Okay, now, so that is how, like, the disintegration or becoming smaller, it is not increasing in the size, it is becoming smaller, lighter, lighter, lighter. That is called radioactive decay. Okay, or radioactive decay can also be called as radioactivity. Radioactivity. What type of elements are radioactive? Heavier atoms are radioactive. Okay, hydrogen, helium, lithium, beryllium, carbon, they are not radioactive. Uranium, thorium, plutonium, okay, which are having more number of protons, okay, they are radioactive. They emit the particles to become smaller, lighter and more stable. That is called radioactive decay or radioactivity. Now, we understood radioactivity. Now let us try to understand the types of radioactivity. Okay, the first one is alpha decay. The first one is called as alpha decay. Alpha decay means what? Emitting the alpha particles. If alpha particles are emitted, that is called alpha decay. It means this is an alpha decay only. Is it clear? The image shows alpha decay. Why? Because alpha particle emitted. If the alpha particle emitted, that is called alpha decay. Okay, right. So, the nucleus emits an alpha particle which consists of 2 protons, 2 neutrons. The atomic number of the atom decreases by 2. I mean 92. After this, what happens to this 92? The 92 will become 90. Is it clear? 90, look at here. Means uranium became thorium. Uranium became thorium after the alpha decay. So, the atomic number decreases by 2 because 2 protons are released. Look at here, 2 protons released. So, the atomic number decreases by 2. And I told you that atomic number and position in the periodic table is the same. So, when the atomic number changes, the position in the periodic table also changes. This is uranium is 92nd element in the periodic table. Thorium is 90th element in the periodic table. So, after alpha decay, the uranium became thorium. Okay. So, this is called as alpha decay. The atomic number decreases by 2. The atomic mass of the atom decreases by 4. Okay. Then you have to know what is atomic mass. Okay. What is atomic mass or mass number? Atomic mass or mass number means the number of protons plus neutrons, that is the number of nucleons. Nucleons means what? The subatomic particles in the nucleus. Okay, because as you might have heard, the electrons are very lightweight. They do not contribute to the mass of an atom. What are the heavier subatomic particles? What will contribute to the mass of an atom? Protons and neutrons. So, the sum total of protons and neutrons is called as atomic mass or mass number. After alpha decay, the mass number decreases by 4. Okay, because what is happening here? Alpha particle is released. Alpha particle released means 2 protons, 2 neutrons released. Okay, 2 protons released. So, atomic number decreased by 2. But the mass number decreased by 4. I hope it is clear. That is called alpha decay. The next one is called beta decay. Here the nucleus emits beta particle. What is beta particle? Okay, this is a high energy electron. Okay, high energy electron. The atomic number of the atom increases by 1. Okay, and the mass number of the atom remains the same. Okay, next one is gamma decay. Right, the next one is gamma decay. Here what happens? The nucleus emits gamma rays, not particles, rays but not particles. Is it clear? Means there is no change in the atomic number of the atom does not change. The atomic number of the atom does not change. Okay, next. So these are the different types of decay. Okay, note. The atoms with same number of protons but different number of neutrons are called isotopes. Okay, that is just a miscellaneous point I have provided here, that is isotope definition. So what are the isotopes? 2 atoms having the same atomic number. Okay, I mean same number of protons but different number of neutrons. Same number of protons but different numbers of neutrons are called as isotopes, right? So here I have given one practice question. After understanding the types of decay, here I have given a practice question about the types of decay. There are three types of radioactive elements which are emitted when unstable nuclei undergo radioactive decay. Which of the following is not one of them? Okay, participate in that. Now, okay, we understood the process of radioactivity. Okay, now this table will give you information about some examples of radioisotopes. Carbon 14, okay, phosphorus 32, phosphorus 33, selenium 75, strontium 85, hydrogen 3 or tritium, okay. So these are some isotopes, radioisotopes, clear? Okay, now let us see the uses, that is applications of radioisotopes. Applications of radioisotopes in various fields. Okay, so let us try to understand this first. Okay, first one is in the space technology. How can we use radioisotopes in the space technology? Okay, you might have heard about Voyagers. These are the spacecrafts that continued to work for the longest duration. Very soon they are going to complete 50 years. Okay, since 50 years they are working and they are maintaining communication with the earth. They are sending information to the earth. They studied about most of our planets, crossed the interstellar space, crossed the solar system and entered into the interstellar space. The farthest moved object so far, okay, that is called as Voyager. It is a spacecraft, a man-made object which traveled maximum distance in the space because it even crossed the sun, crossed the solar system, entered into the interstellar space, working since last around 50 years. Then we may wonder, okay, how the fuel is sufficient. What is that wonder fuel in the Voyager, okay, that is supporting this spacecraft for such a long duration of time? That is radioactivity. Is it clear? That is nothing but radioactivity. Okay. But not only the Voyagers, Cassini, Curiosity are the various international spacecrafts that used radioactivity as a fuel. Okay, radioactivity as a fuel is used in all these spacecrafts. Okay, same way ISRO is also trying to use radioactivity in the spacecraft as a fuel, because if we use any solid fuel, liquid fuel, okay, we can only keep a limited amount of fuel in the spacecraft, so it cannot support the space mission for decades together. So the better source is radioactivity. So ISRO and BARC, Baba Atomic Research Center, both together are trying to develop a rocket that can run with the radioactivity as a fuel. Okay, so recently BARC and ISRO began working together to develop radio thermoelectric generators, okay, RTG. It will have two parts. Okay, one is, listen this carefully, heater unit. The second one is generator unit. In the heater unit, what happens? Radioactive decay. In the heater unit, okay, radioactive decay. And the decay releases heat energy. Okay, when the radioactive decay occurs, it will release heat energy. And the generator unit will convert that heat energy into electrical energy. So, radiothermoelectric. Okay, why this is called as radiothermoelectric? Okay, so thermo because heat, electric, heat is converted into electricity, and radio because the heat is coming from radioactive decay. Radioactive decay will release the heat. The heat is converted into electricity. So therefore we call them as radiothermoelectric generators. Voyager, Cassini, Curiosity are the spacecrafts, RTGs. Radiothermoelectric generators have been successfully employed by the United States spacecraft such as Voyager, Cassini rover to power the mission with exceptional achievements for a very long duration working. Okay, how does it work? It will have two units. One is a heater unit. Heater unit is where the radioactive decay will happen, that will release the heat energy. This component is called as heater unit, and the other unit is generator unit. Here the heat energy is converted into electric energy. So these are the two components in an RTG. Okay, this is used to fuel the spacecrafts like Voyager, Cassini and Curiosity, and the same technology BARC and ISRO are also trying to develop in our rockets. So, okay. Radioisotope heater unit utilizes radioactive materials such as plutonium-238, strontium-90 to emit the heat as they decay over a period of time. This will raise one small doubt. Is the decay spontaneous or should we cause the decay? The radioactive decay is spontaneous. You don't have to catalyze this reaction. You don't have to stimulate this reaction. You don't have to trigger the reaction. Okay. Like for example, the uranium-92 will spontaneously release the alpha particles. You don't have to trigger it. Not only that, you are not triggering it. It will spontaneously occur. Not only that, it will also emit the heat. When this is occurring, it will also emit heat. Okay, not only alpha particle, byproduct is heat. Enormous amount of heat also will be released along with this radioactivity. Okay, so like this plutonium-238, strontium-19 will emit heat as they decay over a period of time, and they spontaneously decay emitting the heat. Okay, this is what happens in the heater unit, which I already explained here. What happens in the heater unit? Okay, the plutonium or strontium will undergo decay generating the heat. Okay, the heat is harnessed and converted to electricity by the RTG component, that is the other component, generator component or the RTG component will convert that heat into electrical energy. This electrical energy will be used to power the batteries which are on board the spacecraft, and the batteries will run the systems. Radioactive decay, it will spontaneously occur, it will emit the heat, heat converted to electricity, electricity is used to charge the batteries, batteries will run the spacecraft. And the radioactivity is a very slow process. So this fuel can keep the spacecraft running for decades together, which is impossible to achieve for any solid or liquid or cryogenic fuels that are normally used in our rockets. That is the advantage of the radioactivity in the spacecrafts. Now let us see the uses of radioisotopes in medicine. I remind you the topic we are discussing is what are the radioisotopes and what are its applications. We have seen its application in the space technology. Now we are discussing what are its applications in the medicine. We can use radioactive isotopes in the medicine for diagnosis and the treatment. Both for diagnosis and also for the treatment, we can use the radioisotopes. For example, let us suppose a person is having hyperthyroid. Listen carefully. A person is having hyperthyroidism. Hyperthyroidism means what? More thyroxine hormone. Okay, more thyroxine hormone, right? Excess production of thyroxine hormone, that is called hyperthyroidism. Then what is the treatment? Okay, you might have heard this T3 T4. What are this T3 T4? T3 is triiodothyroxine. Okay, three iodines in the thyroxine. T4 means what? Tetraiodothyroxine. 4 iodines in the thyroxine. It means iodine will be used in the manufacture of, from this what we can understand, iodine is the raw material for the production of thyroxine hormone. It means, so if you take iodine, it will go into thyroid gland. We have thyroid gland here. That is the reason why we take iodized salt for the normal working of the thyroid. At a given point of time in India, many children suffered from a thyroid related problem called as goiter. A thyroid related problem called as goiter. To solve this process, to solve this problem, we have taken a step of adding iodine to the salt, iodized salt. So, in the salt, when you take iodine, the iodine will go into thyroid gland. Now, let us suppose I want to treat. What is the treatment for hyperthyroidism? What is the treatment for hyperthyroidism? Right? Okay. Here what we do is we inject radioactive iodine. Is it clear? We use radioactive iodine, not normal iodine, heavy isotope of iodine. Okay. So radioactive iodine we use. Okay. You know, radioactive iodine will emit, the radiations. Iodine localizes to the thyroid gland. It means if you give radioiodine, it may enter into different body parts, but majority of the iodine goes into thyroid. Is it clear? What is the working principle here? If I take iodine, most of the iodine goes into my thyroid gland. Let us suppose I am eating iodine. Most of it goes to which organ? Will it go to heart, liver, kidney, pancreas? No. Major amount of that iodine goes to thyroid gland only. In the thyroid gland, the iodine reaches thyroid gland and emits the radiation. This radiation, radioactive iodine will reach the thyroid gland. Why the iodine reaches exclusively the thyroid gland? Because we need iodine in thyroid gland only. The destination for iodine is the thyroid gland. So, when we give radioactive iodine, it will specially reach the thyroid gland. It may also reach some other organs, but most of it goes to thyroid gland because this is where our body uses it. We need it in the thyroid gland only. That is its destination. So, it will reach the thyroid gland. There it will undergo decay. The decay releases radiation and the radiation will kill what? Kill the thyroid cells. The radiation kills the thyroid cells. Now what happened? a few thyroid cells killed. So the number of thyroid cells decreased. So the thyroid production decreases. The thyroid production decreases. Okay. I'll repeat it once again. Listen, remember this like a flow chart. Okay. So first we take radioactive iodine. It may reach other organs, but most of it goes to thyroid. Why does it go to thyroid? Because the destination for iodine is thyroid only. Thyroid is where the iodine is used. So it will reach thyroid. And then the radioactive iodine will undergo radioactive decay there. The decay will release radiation. The radiation will kill a few thyroid cells. Now the number of thyroid cells decreased. So the thyroid production decreases. Hyperthyroidism, excess production of the thyroidism cured. So we use radioactive iodine in the treatment for hyperthyroidism. Okay. So iodine localizes in the thyroid gland, hence radioiodine reaches the thyroid gland, emit the radiation and kills thyroid cells, reducing the amount of thyroxine hormone it can produce. Okay, I hope it is clear. Next application. Cobalt therapy. You know, for the cancer treatment, what are the commonly used procedures? One is chemotherapy and the second procedure is radiotherapy, radiation. So what we do? We send cobalt to the cancer cells. The cobalt will undergo decay, emit the radiation. Cobalt therapy is a medical use of gamma rays. I repeat, radioactive cobalt used, delivered to cancer cells. The radioactive cobalt reach the cancer cell and will undergo decay and will release gamma rays, highest energy rays in the electromagnetic spectrum. If you look at the electromagnetic spectrum, they kill the cancer cells. Cancer cured. This is nothing but the radiation therapy for cancer. Then, to study the way in which certain foodstuff is absorbed in our body, let me explain this here. Okay. See, we have different nutrients in our body. Okay, different nutrients in our food. Okay. Now, do you agree that we need different nutrients in different parts of the body? Okay. Different nutrients are needed for different parts of the body. Like for example, iodine is a nutrient. Iodine is a nutrient. That is the reason why we are taking iodized salt. It is a nutrient. In which organ we need iodine? Okay, we need iodine in the thyroid gland. Like that, in our body, listen carefully, in our body we have different organs. Each organ is having a different function. So each organ needs a different nutrient. Okay, so various nutrients in our food, they reach different organs in our body. Now, let us suppose I am a nutritionist. I am trying to study which nutrient goes to which body part. I am trying to study which nutrient goes to which body part. Then I can use radioactivity. Okay, let us read this content. To study the way in which certain food stuff is absorbed by the body. What I will do? I will take the food. To that food, I will add some radioactive elements. I mean the lunch which I am going to have, I will add some radioactive elements to it and then I will eat it. Okay. And then you can study whether a particular nutrient is excreted out of the body or absorbed. Second level, if it is absorbed, it is going to which part of the body? Okay, radioisotopes are mixed with the food. I repeat, To study the way in which certain foodstuff is absorbed by the body, the radioisotopes are mixed with the foodstuff and form their radioactivity. It is noted whether they are secreted out with the urine or absorbed by the body. Okay, and if it is absorbed by the body, we can also study which parts of the body mostly absorb a particular type of the food. Okay, fat is mostly going into which organ? Okay, iodine is mostly going to which organ? Carbohydrates are mostly going into which organ? Like that we can study by tagging the carbohydrates. Okay, so for example, carbohydrate linked to a radioisotope, fat linked to a radioisotope, iodine, okay, linked to a radioisotope, okay, and then we will mix it with the food, then we eat it, okay, and wherever this particular radioisotope goes, okay, it means for example, this particular radioisotope is reaching the stomach, it means the carbohydrates are going into the stomach, or this particular radioisotope is reaching the thyroid, it means iodine is needed in the thyroid. So we can understand which food stuff, what kind of a nutrient goes into which organ, it is used by which organ. So this will give us more clarity about nutrition. A nutritionist can use the radioactivity because of this reason. Then you may get one doubt, are these radioactive elements not harmful? Yes, radioactivity is harmful, but not all types of radioactivity is harmful. Obviously, when we mix radioactive elements in our food, as I told you, carbohydrates linked to radioisotope, fat linked to radioisotope, okay, or some other protein linked to radioisotope, and I am eating it to study whether they are excreted or absorbed. If they are absorbed, to study into which organ they are going, from where to where they are going. I mean, we are using them like markers. Okay, very good, but I am eating it. Is it not harmful to us? Yes, radioactivity is harmful, but not every type of radioactivity is harmful. Obviously, we take those radioactive elements which are not biohazardous for such studies. This is all the application of radioisotopes in the medicine. Now, applications of radioisotopes in agriculture. Radioisotopes can be used for killing the bacteria and dangerous insects. Okay, just like we get bacterial infections, plants also get bacterial infections. We can use radioisotopes to kill those bacteria and insects, that is a pest that can damage the crop, okay, as a pesticide to kill the pest, to kill the insects, to kill the bacteria that will harm the plants. We can use radioactive elements. Plus, this is one interesting experiment. I'll try to explain it. Listen carefully. Okay. Now, let us suppose the plants are growing. When the plant is growing, the roots will grow. The roots will grow. For example, some plants will have shallow roots. Shallow roots. Okay. Some plants will have little longer roots. Right? And some plants will have, okay. Sorry, I am drawing only one leaf there. They will have very long roots. Okay. Now, how to study how long the roots are? I cannot pluck the plant to study how long the roots are. So, what I will do is, okay, I will keep a radioactive element called A. A radioactive element called A at, okay, at 1 meter depth in the soil. Okay, listen this carefully. I kept one radioactive element at 1 meter depth, and I kept another radioactive element called B at 2 meter depth. I hope it is clear. And I keep another radioactive element called C, okay, at 3 meter depth. Now study the plant. If the plant is having the radioactive element A, but B and C are not there in the plant, it means its roots went only till 1 meter. The plant could not absorb the radioactive element which we kept at 2 meter depth. I repeat, okay, in the soil, I am keeping one radioactive element, one type of an element at 1 meter depth, another type of element at 2 meter depth, one more type of element at 3 meter depth. And then we study what radioactive elements this plant absorbed. This plant absorbed only the radioactive element called A, not B and C. It means it did not go up to 2 meter. The roots did not go up to 2 meter or 3 meter depth. Or, for example, the plant absorbed the radioactive elements A and B but not C. It means the root length is only 2 meter. But the plant absorbed all the 3 radioactive elements. It means the roots are going up to 3 meter long. Okay, so this is a kind of, we call them as xerophytes. What are the xero means what? Dry, desert. These are the desert plants. This is one adaptation of desert plants, because in the desert, in the shallow layers of the soil, you don't have the water. So to take the water, the plant will try to spread the roots to very deep inside the soil. Okay, so like this we can study the length of the roots in the plants. Okay, so let us summarize it here. The rate of growth of roots of a plant can be measured by placing the radioactive fertilizer at various depths in the soil. When the root reaches that particular depth, the plant will show radioactivity. Okay, if the plant shows all the 3 types of radioactivity, it means the plant has grown till 3 meter long, like that. Next, the rate it with certain food. Okay, I don't have to explain it again. I explained it with the case of our food, right? Okay, we have different types of nutrients and link the carbohydrates with one element, fat with another element, and I like some other nutrient like protein with another element, and check which body part these radioactive elements are reaching. Check which body part these radioactive elements are reaching. The same thing we can do for plants also, whether a plant is absorbing a particular type of nutrient or not. If the plant is absorbing that particular type of nutrient, which part of the plant it is going? This nutrient is going into which part of the plant? Okay, we can study using the radioactivity. Plus, you can also study the process of photosynthesis in the plants, okay, using the radioactive carbon. Okay, let me explain this. Okay, what is photosynthesis? In photosynthesis, the plant takes carbon dioxide and light energy from the sun, okay, and synthesize glucose. This is photosynthesis. Clear? As you all know, the plant will take carbon dioxide and solar radiation. Using them both, okay, it will synthesize the glucose. Okay, now what we are doing here, carbon dioxide will have carbon. So this carbon, we are taking radioactive carbon. I mean, we are taking C14, not normal carbon. We are taking radioactive heavy carbon, carbon with relatively more number of protons, like more number of neutrons, like that. Okay, so we take the heavy isotope of the carbon in this carbon dioxide. Is it clear? Okay, so we are taking the radioactive carbon. Now, okay, with this what we can understand is you can study where the carbon dioxide is going. I'll explain like a step-by-step process. The plant is taking carbon dioxide. Step number 1. The plant is taking carbon dioxide. But what we are doing, we are not giving it normal carbon dioxide. We are giving it a carbon dioxide in which the carbon is radioactive carbon C14. Okay, and then we will study where the C14 is going, where the carbon dioxide is going. With this you will understand which part of the plant is performing the photosynthesis. The scientists have understood that the leaves are performing the photosynthesis. Today we know that leaves are performing the photosynthesis. But how did the scientists know this? Using the radiocarbon. Okay, the radiocarbon went into leaves. It means leaves are performing the photosynthesis. So that is how we can use radioactive isotopes to study the process of photosynthesis. Okay, plus one more important application I forgot to discuss is, okay, in the carbon dating. Carbon dating. Is it clear? Carbon dating means, okay, estimating the age of a fossil. Fossil means what? Some bones. You got some human bone like bones, like some Homo erectus. We have earlier species of the humans like Homo erectus, etc. You got a bone like that. We call them as fossils. But we want to calculate how old that fossil is. How old the fossil is. We can estimate it using the radiocarbon dating. For prelims, the radiocarbon dating mechanism is not needed, but you can just remember the point that radiocarbon is used in carbon dating, that is to estimate the age of a specimen. In archaeology, we use it. Is it clear? In archaeology, we use it. Clear? So these are the various applications of radioactivity. Now there is one practice question on the applications of radioactivity. Okay, what all radioactivity can do, where all we can use radioactivity. Okay, solve this question and give your answers in the comment section. I'll give you the correct answers after one day. That is tomorrow I will upload the correct answers. Today I will upload the PDF of the session. Okay, you will find them in the Telegram channel. The link for the Telegram channel is given in the beginning of this PDF. Okay, now, so the next topic we are discussing is 3D and 4D printing. Okay, what is 3D printing? Okay, look at here. Here I have given a small video that is explaining the 3D printing. You can watch this video here. I hope it is clear. Even if it is not very clear, okay, this is what I can show you to explain. Okay, this is 3D printing. What is this green color thing? That is the printer nozzle. Printer nozzle. Okay, that is, okay, that is depositing some material. Simple. For example, you have a normal office printer. Okay, in a regular printer, we fill the cartridge with ink, isn't it? We fill the cartridge with ink. But in the 3D printer, we fill the cartridge with plastic, okay, or any polymer and kidney cells. I hope you understood this. Kidney cells, heart cells. Why? Okay, the printer will just like this printer in this video is forming this toy, this robot like toy. Same way, in that printer if you fill, okay, heart cells, same way it will print out the human heart, not the image of a heart. The printer can literally print out the real working biological human heart. That is called as organ printing. I repeat, in this cartridge, say here they filled it with some plastic, so they printed a toy. But I can also fill the cartridge, okay, just like the pen is having a refill, the printer will have a cartridge. In that, okay, they filled plastic here, so they printed a plastic toy. But I can fill heart cells so that I can print out the heart like this, or I can fill kidney cells in the printer. So kidney cells will come out of the nozzle. What will come out of the nozzle? Kidney cells. So kidney will be manufactured. Or cake batter, cakes, cookies. Is it clear? Birthday celebrations. I want a very fancy cake for my child. Then what we can do? Okay, for example, I want a cake in the shape of a car. I want the cake in the shape of a car. Give the car image to that printer and fill the cartridge with cake batter. Okay, and the nozzle will release the cake batter and the cake batter will be deposited in the shape of a car. So different fancy shaped cakes, cookies, okay, toys like this, automobile industry, car models, okay, or even a building can be constructed. For that what you have to do? Concrete. I am filling the cartridge, literally pouring the cement and sand in the cartridge. Cement and sand in the cartridge, the concrete in the cartridge. Then the printer nozzle, okay, will release the concrete in the shape you want. It means without any manual labor, okay, you can build a home. One entire post office recently is constructed like this. You don't need manual labor. You don't have to keep the bricks one above the other. Just give a print command, the machine will print out your home. My home printed and I can go and stay inside. Okay, so like this we can have so many applications. Building, cakes, cookies, toys, automobile models, okay, and then rocket, 3D printed rocket, okay, total rocket 3D printed, no manual manufacturing, 3D printed rockets, 3D printed organs like kidney, heart, etc. These are the various applications of the 3D printing. So let us just see about it, okay. The construction of a three-dimensional object, look at here, this is not printing out the image, this is literally constructing a three-dimensional structure. It is literally constructing a three-dimensional structure, okay. This technology can be used in various fields even along with organ printing. For this what we have to do? Okay, 3D data about the organ. For example, I want to print out heart. First I have to take CT scan or MRI so that I will get the image of the heart. This is what the input for the computer, right? If I give the image, 3D image of the heart, then the 3D heart structure will be printed out. Okay, so for this 3D data about, that is the length, breadth, depth, different dimensions of my heart, I have to give this data by CT scan or MRI. First step, take the CT scan or MRI. It will give the 3D image of your heart. And then using computer aided design, CAD software, make a digital image of your three-dimensional heart structure. This is the input you are giving to the computer, and fill the cartridge with heart cells. That's it. Just like this we can print out the human heart and we can transplant it to the heart patients. Is it clear? Okay. The printer cartridge will be filled with bio ink. What is bio ink? It is a hydrogel made up of alginate and fibrin. Okay, I want to print human heart. What alginate and fibrin are doing? They form the base material. Is it clear? Okay, they form like the buffer, base material. Okay, like for example in salt water, like water. Okay, here the solute is the cells of interest. Cells of interest means what? Okay, the cells of interest means the cell you, for example I want to manufacture heart, then the cells of interest are heart cells. Cells of interest means the cells you want. Or okay, my heart is fully damaged, I do not have healthy heart cells to take and fill in this cartridge, then I can also take stem cells. Then you may ask me, what are the stem cells? Okay, it is not possible in today's session, okay, but in one of our future phases of Conquer Prelims, I will also explain about the stem cells, either in the PYQ or in some current affairs sessions in future or in the marathon somewhere, I will cover the stem cells also. Okay, but briefly, stem cells are the cells which will form the other cells. It means my heart cell, kidney cells, liver cells are coming from the stem cells. They are the raw material. Okay, so fill the cartridge with, okay, the bio ink. Bio ink will have alginate fibrin. What is this? This is a polymer. What is alginate and fibrin? Nothing to explain. They are the names of polymer. We are using this polymer like solvent, and we are using the cells of interest like solute. That mixture is like bio ink. Fill this bio ink in the cartridge. Give the print command. Heart will be printed like this. I repeat the total procedure. I want to print out my heart. Then take the CT scan or MRI. I will get the 3D image of my heart. Then give it to CAD software, computer aided design software. This will create a virtual, okay, digitized version of this 3D structure of the heart, digital image of the heart. This is the input for the computer. Okay, this is what you are asking the computer to print out. Then fill the cartridge with bio ink. What is bio ink? The solvent is the alginate or fibrin polymer, and the solute is the cells of interest, the cells you want. Okay, you have already given the print image, print command to print. To print out you have given the bio ink. Then the printer will print out the heart structure like this. I can surgically arrange it in my body. Okay. And then a company called Organovo produced a human liver using this 3D printing technology. Same way Chinese have manufactured ears using this technology. Same way recently Indian scientists have created blood vessels using this technology. They printed out the blood vessels. I repeat, Organovo company printed out the human liver. Chinese manufactured the human ears. Indian scientists manufactured the three-dimensional blood vessels of the humans. Okay, and now 3D printing is completed, but there is another concept called as 4D printing. Okay, what is 3D? 3D means 3 dimensions. What are the 3 dimensions? Length, breadth, depth. Fourth dimension is time. So 4D printing of organ means printing out an organ that will change its structure over a period of time. Okay, time is the, okay, we are adding time as the fourth dimension. We are adding time as the fourth dimension. Is it clear? Okay, means what? What do you mean by time as fourth dimension? This is an organ that can change its structure over a period of time, or a cake that can change its color over a period of time, or a rocket that can change its structure over a period of time. So this is called as 4D printing technology. So this is all about 3D and 4D printing technology, applications of 4D printing technology. Aerospace, 4D printing can be used in aerospace engineering. Like I just told you, a rocket which can change its structure over a period of time. Okay. Soft robotics. These are the 4D printing can be used to create soft robots. What are the soft robots? Soft robots means, note this down, flexible robots. Okay, so like this, for example, robot will be like my fingers. It can easily change its shape like that. Okay, next, food. As I told you, the cake that can change the color, or cake, I mean, like you printed out one model of the car shape cake, not car shaped cake. Okay, but if it is 4D printed cake, okay, then it will change the shape of the car. I mean, it will turn into a slightly different model of the car. Very exciting for the kids. So like that. Or shape or color, pink color cake you printed, but it became purple color. Okay, then flavor of the cake. Okay, over a period of time is the fourth dimension, if you remember. With the time, the cake can change its flavor also. This is about the 4D printing technology. There is one practice question here about the 3D and 4D printing as well. Do give your answers in the comment sections. The last topic in today's class is semiconductors. So what are the semiconductors? Semiconductor is, it is not a great conductor. It is not a insulator. What is an insulator? A material that cannot conduct the electricity. A material that cannot, wood for example, okay, is a insulator. Copper for example is a good conductor. Semiconductor is somewhere in between. Not a great conductor, not an insulator. Okay, it is a material that conducts electricity between the levels of conductors and insulator. It is neither a conductor nor an insulator. That is semiconductor, in between the two. Very, very important topic. Okay, you could have studied many, you have seen at least many newspaper articles related to the semiconductors. We use the semiconductors in various fields. Okay, they are used in various electronic devices, laptops, okay, or cell phones, or desktops, or like spacecrafts, radars, okay, in various electronic computer chips, okay, in various electronic fields we can use the semiconductors. But why like that? I mean, why can we use semiconductors in the electronics? What is the role of semiconductors in the electronics? They are used in various electronic devices. Why? To control the flow of electric current. This is the main principle. Okay, this is the principle of all applications of semiconductors. Any device where you want a controlled flow of electricity, any device in which you need a controlled flow of electricity, we can use semiconductors. Okay, right. Now, here I have given a list of semiconducting material. What are those material that can act as semiconductors? Okay, silicon, germanium, and remember, I am not listing out all the semiconductors. I am just giving some examples. So don't be under the impression that these are the only semiconductors we have, right? Okay, silicon, germanium, these are the examples for pure elements. I mean, not an alloy. Purely silicon, purely germanium act as a semiconductor. Next one, gallium arsenide. Gallium arsenide. This is not a pure element. Gallium plus arsenic combination. Is it clear? It is made up of gallium plus arsenic. What are the different elements in the periodic table? Okay, next, gallium selenide. It is a combination of gallium and selenium. Okay, so we have seen two types of semiconductors. One is the semiconductors which are made up of the pure elements, not combinations. Next category, semiconductors which are combinations of different elements. Third category, graphene. I hope you all remember this graphene. Okay, that we have seen here. Okay, the flat sheet of carbon atoms arranged in the form of hexagons, 1 atom thickness, 1/6 weight carbon graphene is 100 times stronger than the steel. Different applications of it we discussed. That graphene can also act as a semiconductor. Very good. But important point is, okay, graphene is not a semiconductor in its natural form. In the natural form, graphene is not a semiconductor. Then what it is? Okay, graphene in its natural state, graphene is not considered a semiconductor, but it is a zero band gap semi-metal. Zero band gap. If you want to know what is band gap, please refer to yesterday's session. In yesterday's session, we discussed a topic called quantum dots. In that, I explained what is the band gap. Here, there is zero band gap. It means you need zero energy to send an electron, okay, from valence band to conduction band. I mean, easily electrons can go, okay, from valence band to conduction band and conduction band to valence band. That is low energy to high energy to low energy, electrons can freely flow. Why? Because graphene is having zero band gap. There is no energy difference between the two bands. So the electrons can easily go from one band to the other band. So this is a why like that. This property is because of its structure. Okay, that one atom thick, hexagonal, okay, that particular structure has given this zero band gap property to graphene. That is a unique property of the graphene. Is it clear? So therefore, having high electron mobility, electrons can freely, I repeat, okay, low energy level, high energy level. Between these two, the energy difference is very zero. I mean zero band gap. The energy difference between these two energy levels is zero. Means you do not need energy to send the electrons from valence band to conduction band or conduction band to valence band. Low energy to high energy or high energy to low energy. It means there is more electron mobility. Okay. So, what is graphene? Is it a semiconductor? No. It is a zero band gap semi-metal. But if you add some impurities to graphene, we call them as, okay, dopants. Doping means what? Okay, doping is given here. Doping is a process of adding impurities to change the electrical, optical and structural properties of a metal. The common dopants means those impurities which are added to convert a material into a semiconductor, okay, are boron, phosphorus, arsenic. These are dopants. These are the impurities we can add. If you add them, a material which is not a semiconductor will become the semiconductor. Okay, like for example, if you observe here, okay, gallium is not a semiconductor. But when you add arsenic to it, what is arsenic here? Dopant. What is dopant? Impurity. Is it clear? Gallium is not a semiconductor, but you add arsenic to it, it will become semiconductor. Like that. Those are called as dopants. Okay. Now, I repeat. Okay. Graphene. Is graphene originally a semiconductor? No. It is a zero band gap semi-metal. But by adding certain dopants, we can make graphene as a semiconductor. Is it clear? Next. India imports semiconductors from all these countries. You can memorize this. This is important. Okay. Any of these things can come in the MCQs. Then applications of semiconductors. I already told you, in all electrical and electronic devices, we can use semiconductors. Wherever you want a controlled flow of electricity, we can use semiconductors. We can use in computer processing units. Okay, integrated circuits. What are they? Chips, computer chip, memory chips, processing chips, like that. And other components in smartphones and tablets. In the LED TV, what is LED? Light emitting diode. light emitting diode. Diode, di means two, ode means electrodes. So between two electrodes, when you pass electricity, when the electrons pass through the two electrodes, it will emit the light. That is the mechanism of LED. I repeat, light emitting diode. Diode means two electrodes, cathode, anode. What are the two electrodes? Cathode, anode. When electrons pass between cathode and anode, when the electrons pass through this diode, two electrodes, cathode, anode, then it will emit the light. That is, what is the light we see in the LED lights and also LED TV screen. So, between the two electrodes, the electrons should flow, isn't it? Okay, pass electricity, right? So, do you need semiconductors? I hope you understood. What is the role of semiconductors? Controlled movement of electricity, controlled movement of the controlled flow of electrons. Okay, so in the LED lamp, LED screens, we can use the semiconductors. Used in temperature, pressure and gas sensors. Okay, and sensors are also electronic devices. They also need passage of electrons, flow of electrons, electricity. Okay, used in inverter. What is an inverter? Battery, for example, when there is no power supply. Okay, now the electricity switches off. I have an inverter. So what it will do? It will continue. It will get charged when there is electricity, and it will give me the electricity when there is a power cut. Okay, those inverters, batteries that can convert the direct current into alternative current. You are dealing with currents, you need semiconductors. So very wide range applications, right? Silicon is the most common semiconductor used in the solar panels. Okay, in the solar panels, what it will do? I have given this, very important, read this. Do we use do we use semiconductors in the solar panels? Yes. Why and how? Semiconductors in solar panels, what they do is, what the solar panel should do? Light energy should be converted into electrical energy. Light energy to electrical energy. So, silicon in the solar panels will absorb the light and it can convert the light into electrons. And these electrons will flow in that silicon. That is nothing but electricity. That is how the solar panels are generating the electricity. I repeat, solar panels. They are made up of silicon. What is silicon? Semiconductor. What it will do? Absorb the light energy from the sun. And then convert the light energy into electrons. You know, mass and energy are interconvertible. E is equal to mc square. Mass and energy are interconvertible. It will convert that light into electrons. These electrons will flow. The flow of these electrons is electricity. This is how the solar panels generated electricity. We use semiconductors in that. So LED lamps, all electrical devices, electronic devices, solar panels, okay, spacecrafts. So very wide range of applications. So semiconductors are very important. There is one practice question. Okay, solve this and give me your answer in the comment section. India's semiconductor mission. Okay, India's semiconductor mission, it aims to build vibrant semiconductor display ecosystems. It was launched in 2021 with an outlay of 76,000 crore under the aegis of Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. All these are important points. This mission comes under which ministry? Such questions are also possible. ISM has been working as a nodal agency for the Semicon India program. What is Semicon India program? On this also MCQs are possible. Very important. Okay. So the Semicon India program will have 4 schemes. What are they? Scheme for setting up semiconductor fabs, fabricating units. Okay, in India, setting up semiconductor fabricating means manufacture units. Scheme for setting up display fabs. What are the display units? Computer chips, okay, CPUs, these are the semiconductor display units. Is it clear? Manufacturing them. Scheme for setting up compound semiconductor silicon photonic sensor fabs, okay, that is assembly units and all that, packaging, assembly, testing units. Design linked incentives will be given for the people who design the semiconductors, okay. And Indian semiconductor market goals are, okay, grow the semiconductor market to $109 billion by 2030 is our target. If this question comes in the mains, such values are also important. For prelims, such values are not important, but for the mains, such values are also important. Okay, manufacturing capacity, okay, to become one of the top 5 semiconductor manufacturing countries by 2030. These are the targets of Semicon India program or Indian Semiconductor Mission. Okay, that's all for today's class. Thank you so much.